All right, guys, so let me tell you a little bit about myself for just a second. I don't like to talk a lot about me, but I need you to know who I am. My name is Andy Elliott. I'm currently 46 years old. I run a 9-figure-a-year company. So making money, building big businesses, I've always loved that. I have 150 employees in Scottsdale, Arizona in my headquarters, which we have a 70,000 square foot compound. It's an amazing facility. I have trained the highest paid closers in the world, in America for sure. And the men that I run with, a lot of them are men that you've heard of. Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, Patrick Bet-David, Brad Lee. I just got done doing a crazy event with David Goggins. We ripped our shirts off on stage and fired up thousands of people. I've been on all the stages across the world, and we get around 300 million views every 30 days on social media. So I don't know if you call that an influencer, an entrepreneur, or a businessman. I have 3 beautiful kids. I have a son who's 15, a daughter 13, and a daughter who's 10. I am in better shape right now than I was at 25 years old. And listen, I'm not telling you this because it's a flex. I'm telling you this because I've almost lost everything more than once. I had the wife, I have the money, I have the discipline, I'm killing it, yet I still almost lost it all. But the reason that I didn't lose it all is because I figured out there's 5 key things that are ruining every man's life. And what's crazy is that no one's talking about them. So I'm gonna share these 5 things with you right now so that you can save your life and look in the mirror and have a hard audit of what's going on in your life, and let's see what we can do to fix it. All right, so problem number 1 that'll ruin every man's life is gonna be choosing the wrong woman. Number 1, when you choose the wrong woman, normally, because guys are pretty screwed up, we make mistakes all the time, the wrong woman will always cut your legs off. Even when you go to change, because that's what life is about, is evolution, and we become better men, they always remind us of who we used to be. How in the heck, if your kid got in trouble, if I said, "You're a bad kid," it's like, no, you're not a bad kid. What you did was bad, but you're actually a very good kid. Like that's what the right woman is. The right woman, especially when her man makes a mistake or when we screw up because, we're kind of dumb sometimes. It's like, hey, that's not good. What you did, I'm not okay with, but I know you're better than that. And honestly, I married you, and even though you might have been a project, I remember when I married my wife, she's like, "I'm marrying you because you're a bad boy, but I want to marry a good guy, but I want to change you from bad to good." She's like, "But also, you are a project, but I know one day, I know you're going to get it all together and you're going to change the world. And I'm excited. I want to be by your side when you do that." And I was like, man, how cool is that, right? Because that was the truth. I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I had a lot of work that needed to be done. But my wife, listen to what I'm about to say, she knew I was a mess, but I was her mess. How cool is that? Write that down. Choose a woman that even when you're a mess, she's like, "That's my mess." How would that make you feel right now if your wife said that? That's what my wife said to me. And I learned a lot from her. What I learned is women are really smart. They really are. They have a crazy intuition, and sometimes we don't listen to them. And we got to learn the hard way. We got to touch a stove 50,000 times. But when we touch that stove and we make a mistake, being reminded of who we used to be when we make a decision to change, that's not the right woman. The right woman calls you up. And by the way, yes, they do call you out when you make a mistake, but they call you up. They're not calling you out to cut your legs off, to nag at you. They're calling you up because they know there's a higher level and they want to see their man go to that level. If your wife or your woman that you're marrying or that you've been with for maybe 30 years in a marriage, or you just got married 30 days ago, if she's not who you want her to be, it's probably because of you. Okay, it really is. And let me explain this to you. So my wife had a hard conversation with me. I was constantly focused on business and work and everything. It's all I talked about. I wasn't going home being like, "Damn, babe, I want to grow our marriage." I was like, "I want to grow our business. I want to make more money." It's like, that was all I talked about. And then when I came home, I was finally home from work. I'd give her and the kids, a kiss when I got home, and I'd jump back into work again. I was on my phone, and I just was never present. And and it kind of pissed her off a little bit, right? Because she's waiting on me all day long, and I'm bringing the leftovers home. Whose fault is that? Mine. I'd be cranky too if I waited all day long on somebody that came home, and when they got home, they didn't pay attention to me. And so, I was kind of causing my own fire and problem. But I want to tell you something. When she checked me and had a hard conversation with me, I changed. In marrying the right woman, this is super important, because you need to learn, if you're like, "Man, Andy, I got the right chick. This is my battle mate. This is my queen. I got the right girl." She'll grow when you grow. I really underestimated how great my wife could be. It's probably the biggest mistake of my life. And I know now, but I told her, I said, "Babe, I never knew that we could go to this level. I never knew it." but it would have never happened, and I never even could have complimented her and seen that woman had I not changed first. My wife is an alpha. She's a great businesswoman. She's an amazing mom, but she also married me, and she wanted a leader for our home. She wanted me to, lead us with God, lead us in, being a great father, lead us in our marriage, lead us in our physical fitness and the way we took care of our family, and lead us in business and put a financial fence around our family. I mean, that's the reason why a woman marries a man, right? So he can lead the home. That means she wants to be led. And so my question is that the wife that you have today, is that the best version of her? Or do you think there's a better version of her and she has 20,000 new levels just like you do? And so if you're like, man, dude, I know I married the right chick, then I think you need to see how great she can become, but that won't happen until you change. Okay, number 2, the thing that ruins men's life is gonna be vices and strongholds. And listen, I'd like you to write this down, right? What is your weakness? What is your crack in your castle? Look, if I had a video camera watching you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I was gonna play that to your wife, your kids, your mom, your dad, what are those things, what are you searching on your phone at 11 o'clock at night that you shouldn't be looking at? Like, what is it that you're doing that that like, if that video got shared with the world, like, you're not okay with that? What's that thing that you do, vices, strongholds, that make you feel good, but you also feel guilt and shame at the same time? That's not good for you. You're conscious, it's like, man, this isn't right. What is that? Because I want to tell you this, the devil owns the drifters. And this will ruin a family. This will ruin a man's life every single time. You gotta write this down, accurate thinking. You have to have accurate thinking. You can't be drifting. And by the way that the devil works, the way that men ruin their life, that families get destroyed is by one little vice. The guy's like, man, I can watch porn once a month. I mean, it's not that bad. Listen to me. One little vice equals 2, 2 equals 3, 3 equals 4. You look up and the whole thing's burning to the ground. That's the way it works. And so I want you to, think, maybe, is yours pornography? Is it weed? Do you smoke weed? Maybe you take those damn things in the gas station and crate them, right? Maybe you're drinking alcohol, but is it bad to drink? No, I don't think it's bad to drink, but I think if it's a vice, it is. The question, does alcohol make you a better version than you? Does it make your life better? No, get rid of it. Bye, see ya. What about negative thinking? That could be a vice. Look, anything that you have in your life right now that is a vice, it needs to go, because it always will catch up and ruin your life. And it always starts small. And guess what? Once you get one little small vice, just that thing may not ruin your vice, but that small vice will allow you to feel like, you know what, that's not that bad. And then you pick up the second vice, and that's the thing that takes you out. I will tell you this, I am an addictive person. It's very important that I'm very careful what I'm around and what vices I pick up on, because like with work, for an example, I'm a workaholic. I am. I'm addicted to work. I love to work. I believe it's biblical. I believe that a man should work all the days of his life, and he finds joy and happiness in his work. But also when I go home, there is a level where I need to be present at home. And so like that could be a vice for me to bring home work when I promised my family, all week long I'd be with them this weekend on vacation, but I'm on my phone, right? So that could be a vice. What is your vice? What is your stronghold? What is your stronghold? Stronghold is something that you have a weakness in an area that's hard for you to break or beat. And these little areas, they end up ruining a man's life. It's okay to be passionate about something. It's okay to go all in on something. I'm a one-way type person. I only know how to do things one way. So once I do something, I do it all the way. There's no middle ground for me. There's no fence for me, and I sit in the middle. I'm either out or I'm all in. And so that's why I have to be real careful what I put in my life. And you're probably just like me. You got to be real careful who you let in your life and who you're around, because I'm a very addictive person. I love business. I got into business. I got addictive. I got really successful at it because I'm an addict. So are you an addict for good stuff or for bad? And by the way, your conscience, your soul, your mind, your heart, right? These vices and these strongholds, do you think that they make those things better, or they make you cold and they make you worse? They make you desensitized to understanding what's right, what's wrong. So think about this right now. What are your strongholds? What are your weaknesses? What is your vice? We got to break that. All right, guys, so number 3 that ruins a man's life is going to be no standards. I want you to write this down. Values, principles, standards. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm like, dude, don't look up to me, right? Look, I run a 9-figure-a-year company. I have an incredible marriage. I'm on fire with my children. I'm on fire with God. I walk with them every single day. I'm in the best shape of my freaking life. I'm in better shape than most 18-year-olds. I run with a 6-pack, 8-pack shredded most of the time. I tell people, don't look up to me. Look up to the standards and the values and the principles that I live by. Loyal to those, not to me as a human. Loyal to those. Here's what I'll tell you. If you follow the standards and the principles and the values of how a man should live, your life will be incredible. And most people don't have them. We think about standards or values, and then we think about something that's on a wall that is in some work office that people say, this is how we live. No, dude. Your standards, your values, and your principles are the way that you work at home, in your community, and in the office. Dude, I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, you know, a lot of the times we see different versions of people. When they're at work, they operate and run by this. And then when they're in a community, let's say they're in a grocery store, they work and they operate like this. And then when they're at home, they operate and run like this. You know, I know people that are really good to everybody all day long at work, but then they go home and then they're horrible to their families. And then I know people that are really good at home, they're treating their kids and their wife great, but when they go to work, they treat people like crap. And then I know people that, you know, crush it at work and they crush it, you know, at home, but when they're in the grocery store, they don't really pay attention to anybody and they're kind of rude. You know, and by the way, standards, that's your belief system. I'm gonna ask you a question, write this down. What are you willing to die for? And by the way, I don't care what you do, I care who you are. I want you to think about this right now. Like, really, who are you? Like, what do you stand for? Do you stand for anything? And I don't mean to say this like disrespectfully, but like we live in a society right now in a world where, you know, people are complaining, whining, crying, and little babies everywhere. Like they don't stand for freaking being a great example. You know what I stand for? Living proof of what's possible with a human being. That's truly what I stand for. I used to not be a good person and I changed my life. And you say, well, how did you change it? Core values, standards, principles. I decided to call myself up to a new level. I had to write down my future truth self. Who was that guy gonna be that I wanted to become? And I had to start killing off my old, you know, like I said, my vices, my strongholds, the things we talked about in the last video. I started really realizing that I was the one who was in charge of leading my family, right? Just like you are. And then I decided, what do I stand for as a man? And you know what I realized is because we live in a fatherless nation, my dad never really put any good values, standards, or principles for me. So I kind of had to think about those on my own. And since I wasn't around any great elite people, those standards were pretty low. So once I increased my standards, my values, and my principles, my whole life changed. My business changed, my marriage changed. I like me more. And you know what's cool? Is that I could get loud and bold about something that was real, which is really who I was. So I always say, chase the man, not the money. When you become the man you need to be, you'll make tons of money. You'll 50x your income. You'll 100x your income, which is impossible for any ordinary person. But ordinary people don't have high standards. So change your standards, change your life. All right, so number 4, what ruins every man's life? It's gonna be complaining. Write this down, complaining. Look, dude, I watch wives all the time compete or hate their husband's business. They literally hate it. They despise it. They hate the business. They don't want to talk about it at home. You know why? Because the husband goes to work all day long and then he comes home and complains and whines and cries about his freaking business. Think about it. When you come home, are you talking bad about people in your office? Are you talking bad about people in your company? Are you talking negative and whining and complaining? Yes, if you are, your wife is sick of it, dude. You know the first reason why you don't complain? Because that's what losers do. The second reason is because no one cares. You know what winners do? They look in the mirror, they own everything, they take responsibility for it, and they fix it. You know what losers do? They complain about it and they give away the power to change it and they whine to everybody and people are sick of it and they're disgusted. And your wife's probably sick of it. I'm just being honest with you. And you say, hey, Andy, that's not me complaining. Look, let me tell you something about my wife. When I come home and I say, hey, I'm not good at that, she's like, shut your mouth. You're good at anything you want to be good at. That's the way it is. If I say I can't do this, my wife's like, shut your mouth. She's like, dude, don't ever say can't. We don't say can't in this house. Dude, I want to tell you something, man. The way that you speak, the way that you talk tells a lot about really what's going on in your head, about what you're focused on, about the way you think. And so what will ruin a man's life? Complaining. And so really just look at yourself. Let's do the little mirror test for a second. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, if I went back over the last 6 months And I went back through the footage, the video camera, how your life's been 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. What did you complain about? If we put a megaphone up to your head right now and the whole world could hear what you were thinking, would they be impressed and be blown away about the way that you're talking to yourself and the way you think about life? This thing right here, this is what ruins men's life. And so if you have any area of complaining in your life, kill it and kill it now. All right, guys, so number 5, as we finish this off, what will ruin a man's life? It's very simple. It's not having a brotherhood. Listen, you want to be around guys like me. Dude, if you're married, you want to be around me and my wife. Man, I love my wife more than anything in this world. My wife is everything to me. I love my wife. She's not just my queen. She's my freaking battle mate, dude. I want to do everything with her. She's the mother of my children. She's my best friend. She's my counselor. She's my workout partner. Dude, she's my fantasy. She is everything to me. Is that how you and your wife should be? I bet. If you guys are around us, that's how you would be. Dude, I love my kids more than anything in the world. And I don't love my kids more than you. But being a father is the most important thing to me. And by the way, my wife being a great mother, that's the most important thing to her. We want to be the best parents in the damn world. Look to your left, look to your right. Are you around power couples like that are crushing it, killing it in their marriage, and they're rubbing off on you guys in a positive way? Are they on fire for their children? Do they love their kids more than anything in the world? Are they being great examples? Listen to what I said. Anyone can be a dad, but are you being a great father? If you ask your children, who do they want to be when they get older? What do they want to be? Do they say like mom and dad? That's what a great parent is, being the freaking example. If you're around us, I promise you're going to be like that to your kids. And so where am I going with this? Is that I created a brotherhood. The guys that I roll with, by the way, the wives of the men that I run with, they're all with us. We all roll together as like an army, a pack. We do life together. Dude, you got big dreams. You got big goals. Me and my wife right now, we run a 9-figure-a-year company. We've been able to build this in a short period of time. There's nothing you can't do when you're around the right people. Who you're around will determine who you become. Who you and your wife are around will determine whether you guys become a power couple or not. Where there's not progress, there's not happiness. And if right now you and your wife aren't on fire, it's because it's not growing. And anything that's not growing is dying. And so me and my wife, it's very simple. We're on fire in our marriage. We're on fire for our children. We're on fire for God. Can I ask you a question? Do you want you and your wife to be on fire spiritually? You know, do you guys want to be able to forgive each other? Do you want to have cold hearts when you guys get mad at each other? Do you want to have soft hearts when you be loving? You got to run with God. You got to be around power couples that believe in God. And then another thing, are you and your wife in the best shape of your life right now? Think about it. Are you in the best shape of your life? And remember, you lead the home. And so who you become, who you're around in your brotherhood will determine how your family, your wife develops. You're like, Andy, man, everything that you're saying is the way that I want to live, is the way that I believe. I want to recreate my life. Listen, Andy, I want to reinvent myself. I want my wife to reinvent herself. I want us to grow in our family every single day. I want progress every single day in my life. I want to get in the best shape of my life. I want to run with God. You know, I want to be, you know, like marriage millionaires without money. You're rich. I want to be rich and live a rich life. I want to get it all. That's what I want. It's all in the brotherhood. And so there's an application below, and it's very simple. If you've watched this and you've gone through this and you're like, Andy, listen, I want to run with you. I want to run in your brotherhood. I want to run locked in arms with you. Me and my wife, power couple. Me and my wife, my children, power couple. This is something that doesn't exist anywhere in the world. And by the way, you don't even have to be married to join the brotherhood. It's just that, you know, I feel like everybody's going to do life with somebody at some point. And if you're with somebody, I mean, when you change, your whole family gets the benefit, your home changes, everything changes. And so if you're watching this right now and you're like, Andy, I need a brotherhood. Andy, I would love to run locked in arms with you. The way that you see life, your ideology of how we should live as men, that's the way I believe. It's very simple. Go down, fill out the application. I review every one of these myself. I don't have a team that reviews it. I got 150 people in my company. No one touches the brotherhood applications but me. I'll review it, and if I feel like we're in alignment, I will personally reach out, and me and you will have a conversation one-on-one. God bless. I love you. Have an amazing day. I hope this video helped you. And if you feel like that the brotherhood is what is needed in your life, and you're like, dude, man, this is it, well, let's go.